Okay, sir. A very good morning to each and everyone gathered here from different places. At this moment, we are here for the national webinar on microplastics under the guidelines of UGC, organized by PG Research Department, Department of Zoology, Raja Sarfoji Government College, Tanjavur. The resource person for this webinar is Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Animal Health and Management, Alahappa University, Karikudi. Now, I would like to invite our eminent and energetic head of the Department of Zoology, Dr. Mariappan, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you, sir. It is a privilege to invite our honorable, dedicated, and most lovable principal, Dr. Senthamil Selvi ma'am, to offer the presidential address.
Good morning to all. Hope that you are all safe at home during this pandemic situation. Dear participants of this webinar, Chief guest of the webinar, Dr. P. Kumar, Assistant Professor of Animal Health and Management, Azhagappa University, Karaikudi, HOD of Zoology, the Organizing Secretary of the webinar, and faculty members of the Department of Zoology. It gives immense pleasure to preside and participate in the national webinar entitled Microplastics in connection with World Environment Day 2021. We all know that microplastics are nothing but small pieces of plastic debris ranging 5 mm in diameter or length in the environment, resulting from the disposal and breakdown of consumer products and industrial waste. Though it is small in dimension, they do not readily break down into harmless molecules. It can take hundreds or thousands of years to decompose and wreak havoc in the environment. Scientists are still unsure whether consumed microplastics are harmful to human or animal health, and if so, what specific dangers they may cause. So, many countries, including India, are taking action to reduce microplastics in the environment. At this juncture, I can say that it's the right time to think over this, to speak about the demerits of microplastics. We, especially the student community, the pillars of the non-pollutant globe in the future, should have the awareness of ban such plastics from the entire universe, since the waste from them may in turn spread over their family, village, town, city, and then nation, and finally the universe. With these few words, I'm much happy to join along with you to celebrate the World Environment Day, and happy to welcome the resource person again. I congratulate the entire team for arranging this webinar and wishing you all the success for this webinar. Thank you for this opportunity given. Once again, I thank all the members of the Department of Zoology. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, ma'am, for your valuable speech. It's my pleasure to invite the resource person, Dr. Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Animal Health and Management, to deliver the World Environment Day lecture on microplastics. You can take over, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, I will take this opportunity to thank Dr. V. Senthamil Selvi, Principal, Raja Sarafuji Government College, Tanjavur, for giving me this great opportunity. I take the opportunity to thank Dr. P. Mariyappan, Professor and Head, the Department of Zoology, to invite me to be a research person in this great occasion. I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. M. Sukumaran, Organizing Secretary of this National Webinar on Microplastics, which is sponsored by UGC. I also take this opportunity to thank the faculty members of the Department of Zoology and the student friends who is present over here, right? So, as we all know that, like this year we have celebrated the World Environment Day on June 5th. On par with that day, today we are having this webinar, right? The theme of the World Environment Day this year is reimagine, recreate, and restore. That means 3 R's. Earlier, there were also 3 R, Again, they have given reimagine, recreate, restore. And it is the focal point to restore the ecosystem restoration. And as Professor Mariappan sir was telling about the World Ocean Day, like this year, the World Ocean Day will be celebrated on 8th June 2021, which highlight the theme of the ocean, life and livelihood. So because why I am telling this topic will be more relevant to ocean as well as the environment aspect. In that way, this topic will go. Just be online, right? I'll just open the slides. Could you able to view the slides? Sir, could you able to view the slides? Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, thank you so much. Right. So today the topic is on microplastic. As sir said that microplastic is everywhere, right? Starting from the morning, like we wake up and we just go and buy milk packets. From there, microplastic starts. And in the evening, how we end with brushing our teeth, right? So brushing our teeth and the toothpaste itself has some microplastic, right? So from morning to evening, so till night, we are using microplastic, and this is undeniable. And we have to live with microplastic. That is a real truth, right? So this session will be divided into two topics. The first session, first half will be on marine and marine environment, and the second aspect will be covered on microplastics, right? So first of all, I'd like to tell you some facts about ocean, right? Okay, so ocean, we are surrounded by ocean. So as in a tropical country, we have three sides surrounded by water, right? One side by areas, right? So we have three oceans. One is Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean, which we have the longest coastline when compared to other countries, right? So we have enormous resources, out of which this ocean is giving more number of livelihood to the livelihood to the people who are present here, right? So we get more number of resources from the ocean, and based upon that, we have to survive. Like much of the people who are in coastline, they are dependent much on the oceanic surface only, right? So altogether, ocean, not only ocean, a beach is a place to relax. Like when we feel for outing and all, the first place we choose is ocean and ocean related environment, or any beach where we go and relax with our family, right? So yes, it is a place to rejoice with family also. We take our children to beach, and we will spend more time, that we will get some good breeze, and we will try to spend a morning session or evening session with the whole family, right? Now I'm coming to the ocean characteristics. The area in which the ocean covers is 71% of the earth's surface, and the volume is around 70% of the water is on earth. So oceanic water is about 71%. The maximum depth is around 4 meters. The density of the water is 1034 to 1035 kilogram per metric cube, slightly higher than the pure water. Pure water has a density of 1000 kilogram per metric cube. The difference in pure water and saline water is due to the presence of large number of salts. That's why the salinity is somewhat higher when compared to the drinking water, which we have a salinity of 1 to 2. But the salinity of marine water ranges to 35 ppt nowadays, right? So when compared to heat capacity, it is it is high when compared to land, right? The temperature varies according to the area where the ocean relies. For example, in our country, we are experiencing tropical climate, so the water would be 35 degrees Celsius or something like that, right? So in places something like Antarctic region, where the temperature would be -4 or something like that, it would be freezing. So water will be freezing. So that's what the freezing point of seawater, marine water, is -1.9 degrees Celsius, and it is not zero because of its salinity. Due to salinity, the freezing point of the marine water is -1.9 degrees Celsius. The surface of the seawater is also not level, because there may be depth and there may be shallow waters. Like in Rameshwaram, if you can able to walk even 1 kilometer into the marine environment, because the region is very shallow, and when compared to Pacific or Indian Ocean, you cannot able to walk, because you will having different zones and the surface level will not be the same, right? So coming to the mega biodiverse country, India among the 17 mega biodiverse country, India is one among it, right? So why? Because India holds several natural bioresources. That's why they have listed India as a mega biodiverse country. So in the northeast region, we have Indo-Burma. In the southern region, we have Western Ghats. And in addition to that, we have Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which are said to be the biological hotspot, where we can able to see a lot of endangered endemic animal, which is particular to that species. When in Tamil Nadu, we can tell that this Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve, which is close to Rameshwaram, is considered to be one of the nicest ecological area, which is a good example that we have in our state of Tamil Nadu. Right. So coming to the marine biodiversity, the total identified marine species in the world ranges between 0.22 million, that is 212,000. The total identified marine species in India is around 17,725 or above. That means which hold 17.33% of total identified marine species in India. Right. So out of which 91 species of ocean are still needs to be explored. Means that only 9% of the marine environment has been explored. Still researchers are doing some good experiments to find out the rest of the 91 species which is present inside the ocean that still await description. Now we will go into the status of marine resources in India, right? So how many marine microbes live in the ocean? So this is a biggest question to answer. So marine organisms accounts for the biomass in the ocean, right? So per ml of seawater contains 10,000 protists, 1 lakh bacteria, and 1 lakh archaebacteria, and 1 crore viruses. See, so 1 ml of seawater contains this much number of organisms. Then if the ocean has covered by 71% of the Earth's surface, you can imagine how much number of microorganisms are living onto the surface of the ocean. Right? So coming to the microalgal diversity, which we call it as primary producers. The primary producers are nothing but diatoms, dinoflagellates, blue-green algae, green coccolithophores. They are also considered as primary producers. Why? Because primary producers, they give oxygen. Because the major source of primary production is major source of oxygen is from the primary producers, right? For example, the marine ecosystem accounts for 61% of oxygen we breathe. Imagine that if this group does not exist, we cannot able to breathe oxygen, right? So they are considered to be the important source in terms of living. I mean, in terms of living for respiring things, right? So simultaneously, in other terminology, we can tell that in food chain, these microalgal diversity play a major role because large number of zooplankton will depend upon the microalgal diversity or primary producers. For the whole food chain to continue, this primary producers play a major role. They serve as a food, they serve as a feed, they serve as a fertilizer, and they are the major O2 producer. And in addition to that, they are the most important organism to sequester CO2, right? So because we are emitting CO2, because these primary producers take inside the carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen, right? And they also consider as a bioremediant agent from which we can able to get biofuels and biochemicals, fine chemicals, bioactive compounds, and some diatoms these finest diatoms can be used as a nanofilters, insulators, and some microalgal diversity can be used as a bioindicator for identifying a particular pollution which is caused by something like metal or sewage, something like that, right? So these microalgal diversity which play a major role and they act as a primary producer. The next higher group I'm going to discuss is the zooplankton, which play a crucial role again in the food chain, right? Because much of the large fishes and small fishes tend to feed on this zooplankton, and they are between the microalgae and the small fishes, because there will be these organisms maintaining the ecosystem well balanced. If these organism doesn't survive, again the ecological imbalance will happen. So these zooplankton play an important role in food chain as well as food web. Second, I'm coming to the macroalgal diversity. There are totally 844 species of seaweed so far reported in India. Seaweed serve as a food, feed, cosmetic, fertilizers, medicines, bioremediant, industrial gums, and chemicals. Right. So we in our country we are using around like 20% of the seaweed resources only. But in countries like Philippines, Japan, China, they are consuming seaweed as such, like in the form of salad. But in India, we are not consuming them in the form of salad. But in upcoming days, maybe if we are going to cultivate more number of seaweed, like we will be able to consume these macroalgae in our daily food, like how we eat spinach or something like that, because these has many number of bioactive compounds that is going to cure enormous number of disease that happens these days. Coming to the seagrass diversity, so far 14 species of seagrass were recorded in India. They act as a feed and habitat for different kinds of marine invertebrates and vertebrates, right? So in Rameshwaram, we have a greater density of seagrass, where we can able to find the endangered animal which is called as dugang dugang. Have you heard about dugang dugang? Dugang dugang is nothing but sea cow, kadal pasu அப்படினு சொல்லுவாங்க, right? So the kadal pasu எங்க இருக்கும் அப்படினு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த மாதிரி seagrass rich environmentல தான் இருக்கும், right? So these seagrass play a major role in preventing the coastal erosion and control the speeds of flood, right? So these acts as a barrier. Some seaweed species are Springodium, Halophila, like Thalassemia. There are several. There are around 14 seaweed species which is present in India, right? So again, the major thing is mangroves. So we all remember tsunami. The tsunami didn't affect much of the southern part of India because of the mangrove, which is act as a barrier, right? So the mangroves serve as a breeding and nursery habitat for variety of marine organisms and serve as a natural barrier to prevent soil erosion, storms, cyclones, flood, and tsunami. So they act as a barrier to prevent erosion. So there are several bioactive compounds such as timber, wood, honey, and nutrients from which we are getting for our livelihood. So in India, there were 39 species which has been recorded, and in these 39 species have several associated flora of 420 and several associated fauna of 1862, and much of the mangroves have been identified in the east coast of India. Next thing we are going to discuss about is protozoa. A total of 532 species are reported in protozoa. Protozoa excrete nitrogen and phosphorus in the form of ammonia and orthophosphate as a product of their metabolism, right? These protozoans enhance the soil quality and thereby promote plant growth. Hence, protozoans play an important role in wastewater treatment process also. So this protozoans, we have studied that protozoan used to cause disease or something like that, and that is related to something like deleterious effect. And these protozoans can also cause some beneficial effects to enhance and promote the plant growth. The next thing is foraminiferans, and these foraminiferans are structures like they are the mineralized cells of foraminifera preserve a record of ocean chemical properties, and that can be utilized for evolutionary, paleobiological, and geochemical analysis of global environmental changes. In India, there were 500 plus species of foraminiferans, and by identifying these species, we can able to identify how the evolution has happened from different geological timescales, right? So in Gulf of Mannar, 47 foraminiferans has been identified. So the next major group is porifera. As you all hear that porifera is nothing but the marine sponges or soft sponges, right? So in India, there are 486 species of marine sponges. In Gulf of Mannar, 319 species of marine sponges have been identified, which is very close to the Rameshwaram, that is Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve, right? They have the major source of drugs, right? So drug developers have keen interest for decades about the potential gold mine of pharmaceuticals in the marine environment, particularly for marine sponges. So marine sponges have unique metabolites that have cytotoxic and antiviral compounds. Still, research is going on to identify the bioactive compounds from these marine sponges, and that is going to be the future of our country. And next thing is cnidarians. The cnidarians such as jellyfish, sea anemones, and corals are powerful toxins and venoms producing organisms, right? So you cannot be able to touch these organisms because they will have stinging cells, and that stinging cells is full of toxins and venoms. So various kind of bioactive compounds have been isolated, and few of the compound has been in market in recent days. For example, Prariat is a painkiller and Eudalis is an anti-tumor agent, which are a new class of compounds which has been derived from Nigeria. Several compounds has also been identified from Nigeria, and they are in clinical trials and in the form of clinical, and they can be used in the form for clinical development. So one of the best thing we have is coral diversity, right? So there are several coral hotspots. One is we used to talk about the Great Barrier Reef, which is located on the coast of Australia. Like, do we have coral? Yes, India, and along the coast of Tamil Nadu in Rameswaram, we have coral. We have 92 different species of corals in Gulf of Mannar. We have 91 different species of corals in Lakshadweep Islands, and we have 36 species of coral in Gulf of Kutch, right? So the coral reef supports 25% of the marine biological diversity and provides about $30 billion net benefits worldwide. You can see how great the coral reef environment is. So they absorb CO2 and decrease global warming. How this coral reef is absorbing CO2 and decreasing global warming? Yes, coral, even being an animal which is said to be a polyp, inside the polyp there is an algae, microalgae, which is called as zooxanthellae, which absorbs CO2, and it plays a major role in decreasing the global warming. They also prevent from flood, soil erosions, tsunami, and melting of icebergs, etc. So they have a great medicinal values. Substances such as prostaglandin and anti-cancer agents and several bioactive compounds have been exported from corals, and right now they have been under clinical trials. Next is Platyhelminthia. Over 350 species of Platyhelminthus has been recorded in India. They are known for bioturbation. Bioturbation is nothing but for cleaning the environment. So they take in the water and they will filter feed, and they will give out the filtered water outside. So such thing is said to be bioturbations. So the next is Annelida. So there are 338 species of Annelida, that includes polychaetes, which were recorded so far in India. Means 338 species of Annelida. Right now, exploring this polychaetes for drug is in fast pace. Like several government are spending more number of projects to identify the polychaetes and to get the bioactive compounds from the polychaete, because this is the least explored area. The marine annelids acts as a indicator species. If there is a particular type of pollution, this annelid or polychaete tend to grow in that area. So they also serve as a live feed for shrimp, brooders, and ornamental fishes. Polychaete species are known for bioturbation. Same. They are filter feeder organisms, so they will filter the marine waters, and they will try to help in purifying the marine water, and they are a biggest source of marine bioactive compounds. So coming to the crustacea, total 3,498 species have been recorded as crustaceans. So marine crustaceans are delicious seafood. It provides protein, calcium, magnesium, and astaxanthin pigment to consumer, right? So the colorful crustacea is due to the pigment called astaxanthin. So this astaxanthin is one of the important pigment which is also having numerous biological activity, and it is tend to have cytotoxic activity also, right? So we are dependent upon commercial shrimps and prawns. Totally 55 species of commercial shrimps and prawns were recorded in India, among which 25% are reported in the east coast and 75% have been reported in the west coast. Shrimps are richest source of protein, calcium, magnesium, and pigments, etc. Mollusk, there are 3,370 species of mollusk, out of which Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve holds 428 species of mollusk, right? So mollusk provides food, medicine, and ornamental. Right? They are the major source of lime productions and are used as an ingredients in cement manufacturing. Coming to the echinodermata, sea cucumbers serve as a useful purpose in the marine ecosystem to help us the recycling the nutrients, break down the detritus, after which bacteria can continue the degradation process. The harvested sea cucumber product, Beachy de Mer, is a famous food in European countries. The sea urchin uses nickel ions to harness carbon dioxide from the sea to grow their exoskeleton or shell. Like it can use to capture tons of CO2. The roe is a famous product of sea urchin, right? Oh, this is a sea urchin, right? These are nothing but the Echinodermata. In Gulf of Mannar, around 112 species of Echinodermata. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You cannot be able to visible, sir? Okay, okay. Now is it visible, sir? Since the figures are more, sir, I think that is a problem in getting download. Shall I switch off the video, sir, so that it will be comfortable? Like they can, yeah, that's what maybe like yes, because the problem in downloading things now again both sides they have to download, right? So I'm switching off the video, right? Fishes, coming to the fishes, and the world cheapest protein source, right? We are largely depending upon meat, like goat meat, sheep meat, or something like poultry, or even in either western countries they are eating like pork as well as beef, and the cheapest source of protein is nothing but the fish. And there are a total number of 2,546 species of fishes which is present in India, out of which like 762 species have been residing in the Gulf of Mannar. So as I said, cheapest protein source on the earth, supplying PUFA, that fatty acid, high efficiency fatty acid, and which has vitamin B12 pigments, calcium, magnesium, etc., which is a good source of minerals and metabolites. About 140 metric tons of fishes is being taken every year for human consumption and industrial uses. Coming to the reptiles, there are a total of 35 reptiles, among which sea snakes ranges are around 26, and sea turtles ranges about 5. And these snakes' venoms act as an attractive antimicrobial proteinase compound for the therapeutic purposes against. And anti-cancer drugs, namely food anati, which has been anti-plastic effects on cervical carcinoma, stomach cancer, and rhinocarcinoma and leukemia cells. There are so many seabirds are available in the coast of India, and they all are dependent on these organisms that survey on the earth. A total of 25 species of marine mammals are reported in Indian water, including cetacea and sirene. You know that dugong occurs in nearly shore water of Gulf of Mannar, Andaman Nicobar, and Gulf of Kutch. The government of India has enlisted 3 species of cetaceans like dolphins, Ganges river dolphins, and sperm whale, and dugong in Schedule 1 category of Wildlife Act 1972, which is amended in 1991. So far I have been talking about the organisms which is present in the marine environment. So this is just an outline. I'm just coming to the real picture what is happening today. So as per Darwin's evolution, the crux of Darwin's theory of evolution focuses on the elimination of inferior species gradually over time through a process called natural selection. So you know that there were dinosaurs. Now the dinosaurs were replaced by human beings. So that is called Darwin's evolution. That means even though dinosaur is so big and so superior, and because of the elimination of inferior species, gradually over time, we lost dinosaurs, which means a well-established species on Earth. So this figure clearly represents from an ape, and human has been evolved. This is an old scenario. But at present, we are talking about the modern evolution, which we are tend to experience today, right? So what we do is, from the marine environment, we got from protists happens. You can see in this both figure like how nice the environment is recorded here, but because of too much trash which we left into the marine environment, this is how we pollute the marine environment. So what are the other ways we pollute the marine environment? Sewage pollution, which is really a big thing, because we are not purifying, we are not treating any sort of sewage that we are letting into the marine environment. And the next major issues we use is chemical and radioactive pollution, which is considered to be the major problem, right? So radioactive elements, for cooling the turbines and all, we need seawater, and suddenly we are taking the marine water into it, and then we are cooling the turbines, and again we are like letting them into the marine water. So that results in thermal pollution also, and some traces of radioactive substances which are entering into the oceanic environment. And the next thing is oil pollution. We try to sell oil, and right now the oil price is hiking like anything. And for the transportation of oil, we require large vessels, and the only source for transportation is marine waters, right? So at that point of time, we are polluting the marine resources with oil pollution, because these are several different topic of like even if we chances are given, oil pollution separate topic, thermal pollution separate topic, like sedimentation, whatever the substances which we let into the marine environment now, that results in sedimentation. So you can clearly see that this is a blue green oceanic blue green oceanic environment where we let lot of sedimentation into the oceanic environment. So what this sedimentation will play? This sedimentation will stop the primary production. How the primary production? Because sunlight cannot able to enter the oceanic substances, and primary production will be largely affected. If primary production will be affected, the secondary production, the tertiary production is ultimately going to get affected. These are the deleterious effect of sedimentation. And here comes the plastic pollution. This figure explains you what is plastic pollution. The same thing what I said to you, right? So whatever the thing we dump, which again the marine environment will dump it again into the land surface. The plastic pollution in recent years is a big threat to human being. We are aware or unaware. So plastic pollution is going to be a biggest threat in the upcoming days, right? So littering the marine environment, trash and abundant fishing gears, primarily large trawls and drift nets, floated into the protected low energy shallow water environment. So earlier we think that fishing net, trawl net, and some of the gears which is used by the fishermen litters the marine environment. But that is not the truth. That is not the truth actually. So what happens here is there are several common types of trashes on beaches, like cans and plastic bottles. Daily we are cans, water cans, and we are using plastic bottles, and we are using styrofoam food containers for the purpose of eating. Lot of parcel services people, they are carrying styrofoam food containers. We are using straws for drinking Pepsi, Coke, Fanta, Miranda, so much things, and cigarette butts, toys, shoes, balloons, and everything is made up of plastic. So these are the common type of beach trashes that which we tend to put on the beaches, right? Knowingly or unknowingly, it ultimately reaches the marine environment. As a result, this is what it is happening. You can see the difference. Could you able to tell what is there in the figure? Someone? Could you able to tell? Somebody on seeing, could you able to see? Professor, could you able to see the figure? Could somebody differentiate what is happening in the both figures?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir. We can see large number of plastic bags which is floating in the marine environment. In addition to the floating bags, we can able to see the marine jellyfish also. You can see the jellyfish on one side, right? We know we can able to differentiate. Being a human being, we can able to differentiate. Yeah, this is a jellyfish. Yeah, this is a plastic bag. But an organism which is surveying inside the marine environment couldn't able to differentiate whether between a plastic bag and jellyfish. You can see the turtle thinking that this as a plastic bag, as a jellyfish, it is trying to eat that. So this is the real problem that we are facing because of plastic. So this plastic then gradually break up into smaller and smaller pieces, and thereby toxic chemical can leach out of the plastic bags, that is plastic bags, and that is the real problem of interest for this day. So worldwide, 1 lakh marine mammals and turtles killed annually by plastic littering of plastic results in the killing of 1 lakh marine mammals. So you cannot imagine mammals we are talking, right? Mammals, most of the mammals are threatened or endangered animals. You can see large amount of mammals are getting entangled, like 267 species found entangled or ingested marine debris. You can see that. You can see the net in which a tall net is getting holded. You can see a dolphin in which in the bag they are having a plastic bag. See here, it is a tortoise is swallowing marine turtle is swallowing a plastic bag. You can see that sea seal net gear has been wrapped on the neck, and this is how it goes. You can see a scuba diver is just trying to remove the trawl net which is surrounded by the on the fins of a big whale. So this is the real problem that we are facing here. So this is the plastic statistics which has been reported in 193 countries, which include Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Mediterranean and Black Sea, produced 2.5 billion metric tons of solid waste in 2010. So this is a statistics which we are talking in 2010. Right, an estimated of 8 million plastic tons entered in the ocean that same year. Imagine that if it 8 million metric tons of plastic each year, what would be the present scenario? What would be the present scenario? So that is what this year they have given the restoration of ecosystem based. That is the theme of the Environment Day for 2021. Right, so this is a greater thing, and this is much bleeding inside us. This should be stopped, right? So coming to the plastic pollution, the size always matter. The plastic pollution can be classified into different types. One is macroplastic, mesoplastic, microplastic, and mini microplastic. So what is macroplastic? Whatever the thing we dump now, whatever thing we see in our data, and those are called as macroplastic. That include bottles, cans, styrofoams, any plastic item that we put into the environment which comes under macroplastic. From this macroplastic, due to the process or thermal stratification or something like that, like these plastic bottles tend to break them into small pieces, and that results into mesoplastic. And again, this mesoplastic turns into microplastic. And this microplastic and mini micro, which is said to be the nanoplastics are the real threat to the environment. So the upcoming slides will be on the microplastics, the nanoplastics, right? So there are different types of microplastic. You can see pellets, you can see fragments, you can see films, you can see foams, and you can see microbeads. Like you can see also noodles, right? So நீங்க வீட்ல இந்த சிமெண்ட் மூட்டை எல்லாம் குமிச்சு வச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா கொஞ்ச நாள்ல சிமெண்ட் மூட்டை என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா உதிரும், right? The surface of the cement bag will get ruptured and you will get fibers, right? And that is called noodles. And noodles is another form of microplastic that is in between thing during the formation of microplastic. From this noodles, these structures are formed. So these are the real threat to the marine environment. Okay, so according to IUCN 2020, global release of primary microplastics to the world oceans are the major source is through the cleaning products, that is synthetic textiles that we use. We use different garments, right? So that garments have some microplastic lining. Those are called as fibers. Because of washing, those fibers are let into the ocean, and they contribute to around 35% of the microplastic that are released inside the ocean. The next thing is 24 to 26% is nothing but the city dust and tire, which carries large number of microplastic. Very least thing has been given to plastic pellets, personal care products, marine coatings, and road marking or paints that you use. So nobody will imagine that personal care products such as powder or facial creams also contain microplastics. Even we have toothpaste microplastic. So we have done a small research, and I will be coming to that later. Toothpaste is having microplastics. How pathetic it is, right? So what are the real threat? You can see this is the real threat. That I will tell you an example, right? There is a bird which is called as albatross, and this albatross is nothing but a bird which used to survive very close to the marine environment. So what happens there is, so this albatross, because of shortage of food, it started consuming the microplastic, and right now this bird is an endangered species. You can see a dead bird which has so many microplastic which is present inside the gut region, right? So this is a good explanation, right? You can see a fish. When they're dissecting a fish, you can find enormous microplastic which is present there in the fish. Again, this fish will be served to our table for dinner or lunch. So we will be eating the same fish for our dinner or lunch. So from which microplastic will enter into the human being by the process of biomagnification. Means from bioaccumulation to biomagnification, it reaches the human being, and this is the real threat to the human being. So this is the thing I am telling you. Albatross in Midway Island. You can see this is a bird which has been, which I was talking about earlier. This bird was flourishing like anything, but because of shortage of food, these birds started feeding on plastics. And you can see very juvenile bird started. The mother started feeding her juveniles with microplastic. And in 1967, 74% chick feed plastic only. In 1995, 75.9% chicks feed. Means the ratio of feeding plastic by the chick is getting increased day by day, and that results in the eradication of this species from that Midway Island. So very pathetic to hear these things, right? So zooplankton filmed eaten bits of plastic trashes, and this is a video. You watch this video nicely. So what is happening here is, this is a zooplankton. They have tested the zooplankton with artificial microplastic, right? Stained with GFB protein, green fluorescent protein. And these are tiny polystyrene beads, which is in bright green, which is tagged by fluorescent compound. What happened is, these beads are taken up by the zooplankton. You can see the leg movement here and there, so that it can able to drag the food. Drag the food means it thinks these, and this is getting dragged inside its body. You can see the motion. So it is trying to take up the microplastic. So the microplastic starts entering into the gut region. You can see how nicely the microplastic enters into the gut region, and thereby it gets accumulated into the zooplankton. Right. So after being getting accumulated in the gut region, this zooplankton starts losing its ability. You can see the stunted growth is noticed. The movement is not there because it has ingested the microplastic, and ultimately it is not going to digest that. Ultimately, it is going to die. So obviously, this is the thing daily which is happening within the marine environment. So these zooplanktons are taken up by small fishes, and those small fishes are taken up by large fishes, and this process is said to be the bioaccumulation. So at last, that large fish is going to come to our table in the form of food, and that we are going to eat, and that will result in biomagnification, right? And recently scientists have identified that fish eat plastic like teens eat fast food, researchers say. So this is the thing, right? So fishes started eating microplastic, right? They think that these microplastics are nothing but phytoplanktons, and unimaginably they have started feeding onto it. So this is nothing but microplastic in sea salt, right? So could you imagine that? Because we are getting salt from marine environment only. So So toxic and carcinogenic microplastics are present in sea salt. Could you able to imagine? So we want to confirm this. So in our laboratory, what we studied is we have collected various species, various salts throughout the India, and we try to identify and screen the microplastic which is present in the sea salt. Right? You can see a microplastic pellet, and you can see a fragment. And these are the things we have identified from our own laboratory. And what we did is the identified microplastic is nothing but cellophane, polystyrene, polyamide, and polyaryl ether. And these microplastic, when we had started giving into a normal cell line, that means normal embryonic kidney cell line, and this started taking up, and as a result of microplastic, we have noticed a progression of apoptosis. That means these microplastics, upon entry into the cell, starts killing the cell, right? And this has been published from our laboratory during the year 2020. And in addition to that, at 2021, what we did is we want to extract the microplastic from the toothpaste, right? There are so many brands of toothpaste which is available inside Tamil Nadu as well as India. So we tend to collect all the microplastics, toothpaste from the stores, commercial stores, and we try to evaluate the microplastic. So we found that again cellophane, polyamide, and polypropylene and polyvinyl chlorides are present in toothpaste, right? You imagine that everybody is using about 0.5 gram of toothpaste daily morning, right? So everybody needs to brush. So I used to brush morning and in the night. When I go to bed, I used to brush my teeth. So imagine that if I brush 2 times a day, and for 365 days, how many times I used to brush? So whatever the brushed thing, I cannot be able to swallow. I have to spit outside, right? So those will again reach the environment. So that is the real threat, threat which we are facing. That for one person, this much thing, imagine the whole world, whole India, whole Tamil Nadu. That is the impact of microplastics. So now I have to talk something like COVID-19. What is the impact of COVID-19? So like starting from 2019 December onwards, we started talking about the COVID, right? So anywhere when you call, when you see TV, they will tell wash your hands, use a tissue for cough, avoid touching your face. So this is the preventive impact for COVID-19. So why I'm telling is during the post-COVID, it has been during the period of lockdown, India breathed cleaner air during the lockdown. That means the air pollution has been completely reduced. Even whatever the pollution which is resulted by air, which has been drastically reduced. But what happened here is because of the waste in the form of mask, which is again a threat, more mask than jellyfish in the oceanic environment. You imagine that masks are looking like jellyfish, and this coronavirus waste again ends up in ocean. And these masks are nothing but microplastics. So once you are using a disposable mask, you should remove the mask nicely. You should fold the mask nicely. You should put them in a plastic bag, or you have to preserve the plastic bag in your home nicely, and you should discard in a closed bin, and then you have to wash your hand. You should not throw the mask inside the environment, and again it will be a major source of plastic pollution, right? So here is a report. Again, ocean fall victim to COVID as a mask end up as litter. COVID-19 hazard 1.56 billion mask polluted ocean in 2020 claim study. Imagine that. These are the masks which we wear in our daily life. Again, the mask started piling up. And right now, today, it is a mask. In upcoming days, the mask will start degrading. And again, it results in microplastic and even nanoplastic. So the discarded mask and plastic rolls are killing birds. Again, the marine birds are dying because of these masks, which we are putting into that, because the thread is nothing but the fiber, and the thread or fiber which gets entangled inside the bird, and that results in the death of the bird. You can see a duck which are both tied, and this is also again a plastic pollution. This will also come under plastic pollution, and it will be a major threat in the upcoming days. So the way forward. So end of life options for bioplastics. So the only replacement thing is bioplastic. That means we have to close the loop, right? So we have to choose some bio-based durable plastic products, and we can able to mechanically recycle. Rather than mechanically recycling, we can able to organically recycling, right? Organically recycle them, right? So biodegradable and compostable plastics are right now available. So you try to dump them in bio-waste cabin, and again you can recycle it in the form of biogas. You can again recycle them in the form of compost, and from compost you can utilize this as a plant fertilizer. Then you also biorefinery is there. Then again you can recycle them into the form of biodegradable or compostable plastic again and again you can do that. So this is the smartest move. Instead of plastic, we can use bioplastics. So where we are getting the bioplastics? Yeah, obviously there are several natural sources, something like chitin, which we get called chitosan from marine organisms, gelatin, lignin, alginate. From seaweeds you can find large number of alginates, and cellulose from plants. These are the source for alternative forms of bioplastics such as polysaccharides, anionic polysaccharides, polyphenols, polypeptides, and cationic polysaccharides, right? So these are the alternate for bioplastics. In addition to that, collagen and silk fibronin, these are called as protein-based biopolymers from silkworm. Silkworm is a major source of polymer which is called as silk fibronin, and there are other natural polysaccharides, something like hyaluronic acid, chitosan, alginate. These can be used as an alternate for bioplastics. So recently, a team of Japanese scientists isolated a novel bacterial species of genus Iodinella, which gave the catchy name called Iodinella saccharensis by the Department of Applied Biology and Kyoto Institute of Technology, Kyoto. So these bacteria tend to degrade plastic degrading back. These are considered to be the plastic degrading bacteria. So the way for microbiology is still open. If you could be able to identify a pathogen or a microorganism that could be able to degrade, you will be a millionaire very soon, because you are identifying a species, and that too cleaning the environment with that kind of microorganism is a real trend in these days. In addition to that, we should also think about policies and legislations on microplastic, right? So several governments has given ban to the use of microplastic. Recently, in 2019 and 20, the government of Tamil Nadu started ban of plastics that people should not sell or carry microplastics or plastic related components within Tamil Nadu state. So this should be stricter enough, so that the policy and legislation on microplastic can create some good awareness among the public, so that the use of plastic can be reduced. So this is the thing I wanted to tell you. So before concluding, there is an action for creating awareness. We should always avoid the past mistake which we did, and we should ambitious implementation of the conservation policies. We should green the environment. We should always try to reuse what we have used again earlier, right? For example, like we should not use a mask, like one mask for 3 or 4 days, something like that. Like not 1 or 4, a mask for 3 or 4 days, but you can use it at least for 2 days, right? So reuse, again wash it, reuse, again wash it, reuse, right? Try to find alternatives. Finding alternatives always matter, right? If people are telling not to use plastics, then try to find the alternate. Yeah, bioplastic is available. If you are going to use the bioplastic, you will be completely reducing gradually. It cannot be completely reduced, but we can simultaneously or gradually reduce the use of plastics. So finally, the conclusion is ocean health is our health. The ocean touches nearly every aspect of our lives, making it essential to the economic, social, and ecological well-being of everyone and everywhere. So, as I said, without ocean, human beings are nothing. Without ocean, all other organisms which are surviving on terrestrial environment is nothing. Because ocean supports 61% of the primary production, and ultimately, they are the largest source of oxygen, right? And they are the greater sink for carbon dioxide, which we let out. So, imagine that without ocean health, our health will not be good. Thank you so much. So I thank this opportunity, which is given by the management of Raja Sarafoji Government College Autonomous, Tanjavur. I also thank the Department of Zoology for giving me this opportunity. I also thank the Alagappa University for the support which they are extending for me. Sir, I am done. If any questions, you are free to ask. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me, ma'am.
I am Nitya. I am
Yeah,
Nitya, sir.
tell me, ma'am.
There is follow daily and avoid the plastic. Sir,
Ma'am, I'm not audible. Could you please repeat slowly
hello.
your question? Yeah. Now I am audible, ma'am. Tell me. நீங்க நீங்க
Sir,
தமிழ்ல
what procedure followed daily and avoid the plastic?
தமிழ்லயே கேட்கலாம் கேள்வி, ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. தமிழ் இல்ல.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not possible. It is not possible to avoid plastic because daily we are using plastic, right? But right now, like for example,
Yes, sir.
for example, we will start with morning. So morning you are going for fetching milk, right? So you can carry a silver vessel for getting the milk. So you will avoid plastic bags, right? So you used to brush your teeth, right? Right now there are brushes which is made up of wood, and try to go for neem related thing. Neem stick, you know, right? You can take neem stick, and it is far better than toothpaste. It is far better than any toothpaste, and it will maintain your oral health good in a good way, rather than going for toothpaste or toothbrushes which is made up of microplastic, right? Slowly you have to be in concise that I am not using microplastic, that I am avoiding microplastic. This is the message, take down message. So each stuff you use now, right? Like we carry plastic bags, plastic water bottle. Try to avoid the plastic water bottle. Try to carry utensils. Like you have a bottle made up of silver bottle now it is now it is available very cheap, in such a way that you have to avoid plastics. You cannot be able to avoid it completely. For example, when you go for buying fishes and all, you will carry, if you carry a vessel now, you will be avoiding a microplastic over there. So in such a way that it is one person's own insight that we should avoid microplastic in any larger amount. You got it, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Any other questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Sir, mini microplastics examples ஏதாவது சொல்லுங்க.
டெய்லி யூஸ் பண்றதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா செலஃபைன் டேப் தெரியுமா? நீங்க யூஸ் பண்றீங்களா செலஃபைன் டேப்ப?
எஸ் சார்.
நீங்க ஒட்டுறதுக்கு யூஸ் பண்றீங்களா? அது ஒரு மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக். PVC பாலிவினைல் குளோரைடு மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக், பாலிஸ்டிரைன் மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக், பாலிவினைல் குளோரைடு மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக், ஏகப்பட்ட மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக்ஸ் இருக்கு. நீங்க டெய்லி யூஸ் பண்றீங்களா பெட் பாட்டில் PET?
எஸ் சார். அது
கூட மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக் தான். அது வந்து முன்னாடி எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா மேக்ரோ பிளாஸ்டிக்கா இருக்கும். டே பை டே என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த பிளாஸ்டிக் பாட்டில் எல்லாமே வந்து பாலிமரா இருக்கிறது என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா மோனோமரா மாறும், ரைட்? சோ தி பாலிமர் வாட் எவர் த திங் ஐ எம் டாக்கிங் இஸ் polyethylene tetraphthalate, so polyvinyl chloride. Then the poly will be a monomer someday, and that monomer is nothing but the microplastic. அது மோனோமர் ஃபார்ம்ல வரணும்னு தேவையில்லை, அது உடஞ்சாலே அது எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு குட்டி மைக்ரோபிளாஸ்டிக்ல யூ வில் ஹேவ் hundreds and hundreds of மோனோமர். புரியுது? நீங்க மைக்ரோஸ்கோப்ல பார்க்கும்போதே தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு.
ஓகே சார்.
yep.
சார், இந்த வாட்டர் பாட்டில் எல்லாம் யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது அது அடியில வந்து ஒரு நம்பர் போட்டிருக்கும். இந்த நம்பர் போட்டிருந்தா
யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க, இத மாதிரி இருந்தா யூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க, அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் சொல்றாங்கல்ல சார்? அது
கண்டிப்பா சொல்றாங்க. நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா, லைக் வாட்டர் பாட்டில் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க, வேணாம்னு சொல்லல இப்போ. ஆனா அதே மாதிரி இப்போ வந்து வாட்டர் பாட்டிலுக்கு ரீப்ளேஸ்மெண்டா காப்பர் பாட்டில்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்துச்சுல.
எஸ் சார்.
நீங்க அது யூஸ் பண்ணிருங்களேன். நீங்க எதுக்கு? அது ஒரு பிளாஸ்டிக் ப்ராடக்ட் தானே. சேஃப் இன் த ப்ராடக்ட் ஆஃப் லாங்கிவிட்டி. நீங்க ஒரு பிளாஸ்டிக் பாட்டில வாங்கி 10 வருஷம் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியாதுல்ல கண்டிப்பா. அத வந்து நீங்க ஒரு பிளாஸ்டிக் பாட்டில வாங்குனீங்கன்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 2ல இருந்து ஒரு 4 மாசம் தான் உபயோகப்படுத்த முடியும். அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த பிளாஸ்டிக் பாட்டில் எங்க போடுவீங்க? லிட்டருக்கு தான் போடுவீங்க, குப்பைக்கு தான் போடுவீங்க. அல்டிமேட்டா அது என்ன போகுது? ரீசைக்கிள் ஆக போகுது. ரீசைக்கிள் ஆக போகும்போது ஹார்ம்ஃபுல் பொல்யூட்டன்ஸ் எமிட் பண்ணுது ஏர்ல. அது எதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு? நீங்க நீட்டா ஒரு காப்பர் வெசல் நீங்க வச்சுக்கலாமே. வச்சுக்கிட்டீங்கன்னா நீங்க அதை பத்தி நீங்க ஒரி பண்ண தேவையில்ல. அதை தான் சொல்றேன். யூ நீட் டு ஃபைண்ட் அன் ஆல்டர்னேட்டிவ். Alternative is here. You need to find the alternative over time.
Thank you sir.
Sure. Thank you ma.
Hello sir, good morning sir.
Good morning, tell me ma'am.
Sir, நான் வந்து பாலிமர்ஸ்ல பயோடிகிரேடேஷன் ஆஃப் பாலிமர்ஸ், அதாவது பாலிமர் வந்து மோனோமரா கன்வெர்ட் பண்றதுல தான் வந்து நான் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Okay.
My query is, நம்ம பிளாஸ்டிக்கை ஏன் பர்ன் பண்ணக்கூடாது? பர்ன் பண்ணி நம்ம பர்ன் பண்றப்ப வர டாக்ஸின்ஸை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ற மாதிரி ஸ்டடிஸ் ஏதாவது இது வரைக்கும் போயிருக்கா சார்?
பிளாஸ்டிக் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்றமா பர்ன் பண்ணி வர்றத வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா தண்ணில கொடுத்துருவாங்கம்மா. ஸோ அதுக்கு பேர் உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், காண்டன்சேஷன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ பர்ன் பண்ணி வர்றத என்ன பண்ணிடுவாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, ஏர்ல எமிட் பண்ணாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணிடுவாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, அந்த 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 பாலிமரைசேஷன் ரியாக்ஷனை வந்து என்ன பண்ணிடுவாங்க, அந்த அந்த புகை வெளியில வரதுல அதை தண்ணியில கொடுத்துருவாங்க. தண்ணியில கொடுத்தோட என்ன ஆயிடும்? மறுபடியும் பிளாஸ்டிக் ஆயிடும். உங்களுக்கு புரியுதா நான் சொல்றது? இப்ப மெழுகு என்ன ஆகுது? உருகுதா? உருக்கிட்டு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் கூலான என்ன ஆகுது? சோ சேம் ப்ராசஸ். அதுக்கு வந்து டெத்தே கிடையாது. அது வந்து பாலிமர். நான் சொல்றது புரியுதா? அதனால சொல்றோம், அதை நம்ம குறைச்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்றேன்.
ஓகே சார்.
நீங்க மோனோமரா மாத்தினாலும் அகைன் இட் வில் பி a polymer only.
ஓகே சார். இப்போ இது வரைக்கும் நம்ம வந்து பிளாஸ்டிக் எல்லாம் வந்து ஓசன்ல டம்ப் பண்ணிட்டோம். அக்வாட்டிக் அண்ட் டெரஸ்ட்ரியல் ரெண்டு பக்கமே டம்ப் பண்ணிட்டோம். இப்போ நம்ம அதைய வந்து நம்ம கிளியர் பண்றதுக்கு நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்? as a human being நம்ம அதை எப்படி eradicate பண்றது? Is it possible?
Try not to use plastics. Try to find alternates. ரொம்ப simple. Already we have dumped a lot into the marine environment. Right? It's a general topic only. நீங்களே யோசிச்சு பாருங்க, நம்ம நிறைய குப்பை போட்டுட்டோம். சரியா? இனிமே குப்பை போடாம இருக்கிறதா சரி. இன்னும் மேலும் மேலும் நம்ம குப்பை போட்டுட்டே இருந்தோம் அப்படின்னா again it will be a problem. So find alternative அப்படின்னு சொல்றேன் நான்.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
Okay sir.
Yes sir.
So thanks a lot sir for giving us valuable information and making the session a very effective and useful one. Thanks a lot sir.
Thank you so much ma'am. So much.
It's now the time for expressing our gratitude. Now I invite the Vibrant Program Coordinator, Dr. Sugumaran, Assistant Professor, Raja Sarpoji Government College, Tanjavur, to convey the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you, madam. Good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I would like to present the vote of thanks. First, I thank to our principal, madam, to given such type of opportunities. Thank you, madam. I extend my gratitude to Dr. Mariappan sir, head of the Department of Zoology, for his nice cooperations and valuable suggestion. Thank you, HOD sir. On behalf of the Zoology Department, we thank the resource person Dr. Kumar for accepting our invitations and delivered a wonderful speech on microplastic. Thank you, Dr. Kumar sir. I extend my sincere thanks to faculty members of Zoology departments of our college, especially Dr. Marine Emerald for her master Germany. I thank the participants of the programs for sparing your valuable time with us. Once again, I thank to all. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Sir? Thank you, sir. Ravichandran sir, thank you, sir.